Welcome, everybody, to the Just Add Bourbon podcast. I'm Jimmy Don Kerr.
And I'm J.D. What's going on?
It is good to be back. It is a beautiful Sunday evening here in the hills of Eastern Kentucky. And J.D., for once, when I say that, I can mean it. It is an absolutely gorgeous day here in the mountains.
Beautiful.
Yeah, nice to be away, I know, for you and really for all the residents of Eastern Kentucky and a lot of America. It's just nice to not have rain and flooding or ice or anything like that. It's actually,
please, dude, don't say that.
I know, right? Don't put that out in the universe, right?
Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby?
No, it's absolutely a gorgeous day here, and it's good to be back. I was gone last week. JD did an ample job with the Redneck Comedy tour that's coming to the Roy F. Collier Community Center here in April. With Donnie Baker and Chris Abels, Johnny Lee Miller, and of course J.D. Dameron. Brought to you by who? Us, the Just Add Bourbon podcast. So ticket sales have been going well, J.D. We do still have some tickets available out there, guys. So if it's something you're interested in going to, definitely jump on. We'll be putting some more posts out, to kind of clear out the rest of the tickets, but they are going quick. We've sold a bunch. But getting pumped up for that show, JD. You got some material ready?
Oh, baby, I'm ready. Like, my material, I feel really good about it. Like, the hardest part, man, for me right now is, like, I haven't been on stage in so long, and there's so many things I want to try out, but I don't want to try out that new stuff on that crowd. You know what I'm saying? I want to go with stuff that I know is going to work. Like, there's just so many things I want to say, especially to that crowd. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
But, yeah, man, it's going to be a good time. I can't wait to have somebody like Donnie Baker coming into Inez, man. I think it's super, super cool, and I don't think anybody could have pulled it off but us. So
no, it's
my horn a little bit.
That's right, toot away, baby. No, like I said, it is cool. I don't know that anybody like that has ever came to Inez and performed, a comedian or I know we've had different dignitaries in here, but
on the way through,
yeah.
Yeah, Donnie's coming here to be here. You know what I mean? Like, so
he's coming here to be here. His promo video killed me. I'm on net. Inez put a baby in. I thought, oh my Lord, what have we done? But no, it's going to be a lot of fun. But JD, we haven't been here in a while, so guys, we'll make this an Ask Anything Sunday. If you've got a topic you want JD and I to talk about, hit us up in the comments here. Or if you just have a random question, something that you want to ask myself or JD, we will do our best to answer that for you. But JD, let's talk a little bit about. I haven't seen you. Really haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, man. I just want to know what's going on with you, brother.
Man, it is dance season full out. Was in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee last weekend. Drove home while JD was doing the show. I was on the road, and it was interesting, dude, being in Tennessee. Because we've been traveling a lot, with these dance competitions and with COVID and the guidelines. There's a couple of things. One, Tennessee was a little more lax. Like it was more how it used to be before COVID there. Now, they were still under a mask mandate, but it was much more relaxed. Like, if you walked in somewhere and didn't have a mask on, nobody jumped onto you and told you to put a mask on.
Yeah.
It was much more lax. But I do want to comment on how COVID has affected these competitions. Now, I've told you many, many times that I love going and watching my girls dance, right? I love to watch my girls dance. I like to watch the other kids from Dance Etc. dance, and I think that's fine. It's the other 50 that I have to watch that are a problem. So let me explain to you how this breaks down now. And like COVID and dance, to me, like this is what we should be doing. So essentially they schedule the teams and you don't show up to the facility until about 45 minutes till the team goes. And then you don't sit down. They've got different areas where you go and stand and then you move up until your team performs.
Staging areas.
Yeah, and they've got you, socially distanced and all that.
Yeah.
Brother, I watch one dance. I'm out. I go do whatever I want to do. So I'm kind of hoping, like, if we could have a lockdown, or not even a lockdown, but like if we could go to COVID guidelines during dance season, I'd be a whole lot happier. Like it's a lot of fun. Oh, right here, Joey Stepp, 100%.
What's up, Joey?
What's going on, brother Joey Stepp? Yeah, absolutely. Cheer and dance comps are equivalent to hell. I've been there, and they are. And when you have to sit there all day, it's rough. But the way they schedule it now, you walk in and you're kind of moving up. You don't even have to watch these teams dance. You're just standing around BSing with the other parents. You get up to the stage, your kid dances, you exit, you're done. So it's beautiful.
I also went to Gatlinburg. You know, I would let my kid cheer again. That's if it was that way. Yeah, all right, Joe, I got you. I went to Gatlinburg. I guess it was a few days before you did. I went to Gatlinburg, and I had to go down for some training for work. And I had a lady friend meet me out, and we went out and got some drinks and stuff and hung out. And then nobody said anything about a mask. Like, you didn't even know there was a mask mandate going on or COVID going on, anything. So,
well, I walked into the hotel and I didn't have a mask on. Yeah. And and the thing was, it was just like I hopped out of the vehicle, went in to check in. I didn't even think about a mask, right? And normally I've got the mask in my hand, but where I was in Amy's vehicle, I just jumped out and walked in, and I was like, I got up to the counter, I was like, oh crap, do I need a mask? And she was like, no. I said, well, is there not a mask mandate still here in Tennessee? And she was like, yeah, there's still a mask mandate. She said, but we're not going to tell you whether or not you can wear a mask. Now, we have to wear one, but we're not going to tell you that you have to wear one. And it was pretty much like that everywhere we went, even the dance competition.
The employees, man, was all wearing masks, stuff like that, but nobody else, man. Everybody else was just chilling, So it was interesting to see it because I went to – so I think I got home on Thursday from Gatlinburg, and I ended up going to Lexington on Saturday and hanging out. My brother was celebrating his 21st wedding anniversary. Shout out to Chas and Brian. Congratulations on that. And we went out to Jeff Ruby's, and it was very, very strict, man. Everybody, you got to put your mask on. They seen you standing around, not at your table with your mask on. They asked you to put your mask on. It was a lot more stringent. So it was interesting to see the two different, styles of what's going on. I don't know what numbers are. So go ahead.
Well, numbers are going down everywhere, right? Like, a lot of it has to do with, people getting the vaccine. And then two, people have just kind of fallen into wearing a mask. It's just, it's just kind of what you got to do. I think people have fallen into that, the social distancing aspects of it. I think everybody's just kind of fallen into it. And Trump's not president anymore, and so, they don't want to blast it. So it's, I told you, COVID will be over as soon as Biden gets in office, and we're pretty much there.
You was off by a few months, bro. Let's just be.
Yeah. No, well, it takes a couple of months for them to get in there. They don't want to make it too obvious, that's what they're doing. But no, it was interesting to be there and to have the more relaxed because, in Ohio, when we were there, you were still kind of under it, and they absolutely would make you put a mask on. Like I walked up to the bar, and dude was like, "Put a mask on. If you want something, you're gonna put a mask on." I was like, "Well, I don't have my mask with me, dude. I'm sorry. I'll run out here and get it." I didn't even go back. But I do want to tell you, I went to this place, had an interesting experience at a restaurant. And have you ever heard of or been to Dick's Last Resort?
No, I have not. But I've heard of it. I have heard of it. Like, I guess you go down there to Dick's to you. Like, that's what they do, right?
Yeah. So I didn't know what this place was. And Ashton's, one of her friends that's on the dance team, it was her birthday. And she wanted to go out there to that island area and, and go to this Dick's Last Resort. So we go out there and they mess around for a bit, on that rope, obstacle course, whatever it is. So they do that. Everybody's, it's like a 2-hour wait to get in there. So, everybody's kind of walking around. Well, I wander off because Amy and Addison had been shopping while I hung out with Ashton. So they came back and I wandered off, went into a comic book store and, just kind of pissed around for a minute. Well, I come back, I got to use the restroom. So I walk in this place. I go to the restroom and I come out and I'm like, the bar was wide open. Like there was nobody sitting at the bar. So I walked up to the bar. And I don't drink a whole lot anymore, but I do like to drink a beer every once in a while.
Sure.
And Sam Adams has this beer out called Cold Snap. And it's one of my favorite beers. It's a seasonal beer, and it's one of my favorites. I love it. So they had it on tap. So I walk up there, and I sit down at the bar, and this bartender walks up to me and goes, "What the F do you want?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What?" I said, "I just want a beer." Like I was totally shocked, right? Like I was, because I didn't know what was going on. And she looked at me and she said, "Oh, honey, that's our thing here. We talk trash to you." I was like, "Oh, I said, well, give me an effing beer. And so I said, but I had the best time. Like it was actually fun, and it was pretty neat because at first I was like, I don't know if I want to bring my kids in here or not, but it was kind of neat to watch them how they did it because they tailor made it to the age of the people that were there, and then they put these hats on them, like the hat they put on yeah, the hat they put on Addison said, "I'm the reason boys like boys." It was just stuff like that. It was pretty funny. I ended up having a good time, but I was 100% shocked because she looked right at me, dude, and yelled at me. I'm like, what the F do you want? And I was like, whoa, what? No, so that was interesting. That was a new experience for me because I'd never been in there.
I'm glad that didn't happen to me because I might have proposed to her.
That's JD's kind of place right there. You would actually be good in a place like that because, they are always coming up. Like I know Addison asked for some napkins. And when they come back over with the napkins, they just threw a big wad of napkins in her face.
So here's your
napkins. They asked for some refills. They made them get up and go over and get their own refills. It was just stuff like that. And but it was pretty fun. Like I had a pretty good time watching and laughing at everybody. And then there was like a bachelorette party in there, and it was more risque, right? So I listened to that. I was having a hoot listening to that dude go off. And the guy that was tending bar that was actually waiting on us was just cussing everybody out. Like everybody that was sitting around the bar, he was just killing them, Is that fish I smell? You want fish or is that you? Stuff like it was crazy. I don't know. It was a lot of fun, but I was wondering if you'd ever been there.
No, but so I would love to go. Like, but I would have to be in the right mood for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I have to go in there. Of course, if you go in there, you're in the right frame of mind, unless you get taken off by surprise like you did. But
yeah, I really did.
I'd like to take like 4 or 5 comedians with me and let's go down there and hang out and go back at them.
Yeah, because those guys are really clever. Like I'm sure there's a whole list of things they're given to write on these hats during. Like there was a youth baseball team in there, and they had a ball with those kids. Like it was a lot of fun watching them interact with those kids and the stuff they were doing with them. Like it was actually quite a bit of fun.
Yeah, I never done that. So I did go to Jeff Ruby's though. Like I said, man, the steakhouse. You ever been to Jeff Ruby's?
Oh yeah, I've been to Jeff Ruby's. I love Jeff Ruby's.
I loved it. That was probably the best steak I ever had. I got the ribeye.
Well, it should
be. My
bill
was like $150, bro.
Oh yeah, if you're paying $100 for it, it should be. Like I won't take. Like Amy and I'll go there. I won't take the kids there.
Yeah, right. It'd be a wasted on the kids anyway, really. But the guy I was with, they had a $28 an ounce tenderloin, and the guy we was with ordered. He got 8 ounces, so it's like $234 or something like that for a tenderloin. Could you imagine? I was like, bro, you can't get that. Like, I was trying to talk him out of it. We ended up having a good time, man, and it was a good, cool experience, man. See the guys walking around in the white jackets and pouring the bottles out of the napkins and stuff like that. Like I thought that was cool.
No, normally when we go to Columbus for dance competitions, there's a Jeff Ruby's right down the street from where we stay and where they have the competition, and that's when we usually go. I haven't been to the one in Lexington yet, but I've been to the one in Columbus probably, 10 times, but because I love it. I mean, it's really, really good.
Yeah, I didn't know that, though. Like, I knew it was going to be expensive. I thought, like, Malone's expensive.
No, it's legit. Hold on, get it up here. That's how it is at my house. I know, Wef. I hear you, brother. Wef lives a tough life.
Yeah, Jackie's wearing him out, bro.
Yeah, Wef lives a tough life. But no, it was fun.
Here's your stupid napkins, J man.
Yeah, go get your own refill. So I want to ask you a question. Didn't you have a paid gig? Comedian gig, like how did that go? I hadn't got to ask you about it.
I forgot. Yeah, it's been a minute. Okay. Yeah, I had a paid gig up in Huntington, man, and I tried out some new material. I used some old stuff, but I tried out some new material. I feel really good about. I feel like, it's all the reason I want to get back on stage, man, is for this April 23rd gig. I want to make sure my stuff's right, get in front of the hometown crowd, and tell some jokes. And so the stuff I brought out and stuff I used, man, it done good. Most of it. A couple of them didn't hit right, but also know how to tweak them to make them go right. You know what I'm saying? I know what I did wrong and how to make it work. Because there's a lot to how you tell the joke. You know what I'm saying? And how the delivery. So
yeah, it's as much about the delivery, right, as it is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean it's the setup and the delivery is it's everything with timing. And so it went good, man. It was fun. little place called Fly-In Cafe in Huntington. It's a little campground. There's a little old bar tucked away in the back of it, and they was pretty lax about the rules. Of course, it was how do I say this? It was like a country bar, like
Sure.
You didn't have to worry about any liberals being in the crowd.
Right.
And so it was a good time though, man. We had a blast. There was 3 of us showed up. We had a good show, and it was just good to be back on stage. And it felt really good to get that first laugh, man. Get that first laugh out of the way. It's like, then you realize why you do it again, and you're like, okay, let's do this.
Well, who was performing with you?
It's a guy named Cody Lambert. He's from over in Lincoln County, West Virginia. I don't know if you know where that's at, but he's almost Charleston off of 119. And a guy named Josh McDonald, who's probably one of the best joke writers in the state of West Virginia. He's a really funny guy. And but I got to host, which was cool because I hadn't hosted before, and I'm going to host a show in April. So it gave me that experience too, which was really cool. And I'm ready to get after it, man. So it was a good show. It was fun. Everybody had a good time. We drank some beer and we had some laughs, and we went home. It was a good time.
Sure. Well, let's talk a little local stuff. JD and I, as everybody knows, is on the board of the community center. We inked a deal this week that is really a big deal and a really good thing with the local library board here. They are a really good board, and they've been really good stewards of the taxpayer money. And we were able to ink a deal, well funded, and they can run the day to day. I was pretty excited about that, JD, to get that done and out of the way, because I know now that the community center is going to be in good hands, and they're going to do already planning on a bunch of remodeling and a bunch of painting and cleaning up and all those things. And so our citizens got a big win. Obviously people listen to us all over the country and in other countries, but where we live, we don't have a ton of stuff, for people to do. And that community center was kind of the thing. It was kind of the center, the hub of our county where everybody went and met. And that is going to, again, be true. And they're going to do a great job. I'm excited to partner with them.
Hey, and all the credit goes to you, man. You've done a great job getting that lined up. If you want to toot your own horn, but I'll toot it for you. That was a great win. I don't think it could have ended up any better hands. I think they was the right people to take it over. I think, with the way they have everything set up, and the other alternatives were much less favorable than what we got. So I'm really happy with how things turned out for the community center, and I'm glad that we were able to figure something out, and you were able to get it lined up, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate that. No, it is. They have a similar vision to what the community center's vision is, and they have the staff to handle it. They are well funded. They will. I'm over the moon excited about it, man, because they're going to get that place back to what it was, and it will truly become a hub and a center of learning for the kids in our community. The movie theater is still going to be there. You'll be able to go there and work out. I mean, it was a great win for our community.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited about it. So I at least wanted to bring that up because we've talked about that on here before, when raised a lot of money. We basically were able to survive long enough to be able to work out a good deal. And basically the taxpayers are getting 2 for 1. They're getting their library and their community center.
Absolutely. And I want to bring up something else local, man. I went yesterday to the so things are different this year with not only dance and not only football and basketball, these things, but wrestling, which is something I love to do. I coached youth wrestling and for years, and a lot of the kids that I coached are now high schoolers, or some of them are even moving on, graduating this year. Branson Smith and Randy Kinzer both won so they're having 2 state tournaments this year, and they're not sending as many kids to the tournament. Instead of a 16-man bracket at the tournament, they're having an 8-man bracket. And they worked out the first half of what would have been a 16-man tournament out yesterday. And Branson Smith and Randy Kinzer both came out as champions of the first round of that tournament. Both, Martin County kids grew up here and coached here and worked hard here. And to earn that title, it's pretty cool, man, to see – especially a kid like Branson. I mean, I love Randy too. He's a football player. I coached him in football, but much respect to him. He's a fighter. It's good to see a kid like that, man, work hard and earn a championship like that. It's awesome feeling to see it, and it's got to be an awesome feeling for him and his family. So congratulations to him. Branson, one of my best friends' kid, Billy and Ryan have been godsends to me, man. Billy and Ryan were there for me. One of the lowest points in my life, man. Like nobody else was. I've seen Branson grow up, and to see the man he's becoming is awesome. And to see him go out there and pin everybody through the tournament was pretty cool. And that kid, if he ever comes at me, I'm going to shoot him right in the kneecap.
Listen, Amy showed me a picture today of him doing this.
Yeah.
And I said, oh my God, dude, he is when you say man, you need to like capitalize MAN. Like he is a man.
He is a man. So.
Like if he come at me, I'd run. Like I really would. I mean, he's a big youngin'. Because I know JD, like it was a year or two ago, we were kind of talking about Branson because he's always done well. And,
sure.
And as his career's progressed, he's obviously came to the top of the pile, right? I mean, he's obviously one of the best in the state in his weight class. And JD was like, oh, I can still take him. And the other day, JD is like, I want no part of that kid now. Like, none.
Absolutely not. I told you a story, a couple years ago. We went to the lake, and him and Chase were giving me a hard time. They was wearing me out in that lake. I said, all right, boys, that's enough. I'm going to hurt somebody now if y'all come back at me. I'm tired and I'm old. Leave me alone. And so
we had some other stuff, too, though, brother, with some other kids from our community. Trey James played in the NCAA tournament yesterday. I don't know that he actually played, but he was.
Oh, I think he did play.
Did he play? Because they played Alabama. Alabama, obviously, one of the best teams in it. But Iona made it to the tournament, and we had Trey actually at the NCAA tournament, one of our kids. That was so cool. And then we had two of the girls that graduated last year that went to Alice Lloyd, won a national championship yesterday.
Yeah, Kirsten Isaac and Maddie Thompson.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff, man. Congratulations to those girls, to the parents, to the family. That's good stuff, man. We love to promote that here on the Just That Bourbon podcast for sure.
100%. And, Maddie, I think, was on the all-tournament team. Yeah, I mean, like that's a big deal, dude. Our youth are killing it, man. I said I'm really happy for those guys and for their families. I said because those are some really cool accomplishments.
Yeah, and softball is going to start now. And what better? I mean, this weather, bro, is beautiful. It's great. I'm excited to get softball rolling. We have 0 seniors on our girls softball team. It may end up being a long year, but softball's just a fun time to be around, man. And
it's fun. Well, I told the girls, I said, somebody's going to play softball so I can go hang out with JD. I said, like, somebody's going to have to play so I can go. Because Addison's doing volleyball now.
Okay.
And I really enjoy volleyball.
Yeah, volleyball's cool.
And, like, now I've always watched volleyball. If people are watching this and they've never done it, go to the SEC network if you have it and watch women's volleyball. Specifically, watch Kentucky's women's volleyball.
Pretty good.
Dude, it is insane. They are athletes, man. I said, it's crazy. And when we were at Eastern, we used to hang out with a bunch of the volleyball girls. That they were some of our running around buddies. And we used to go watch them play all the time. And, I mean, dude, it's impressive. I mean, like, they smack that ball. I mean, it's crazy.
So one of my funnest things to watch, man, which is weird, okay, because I'm not a baseball guy at all. Like, I really don't care about baseball at all. But if there's girls college softball on TV, I stop right there and I watch it. I love it, man.
100%.
Things to watch. And the girls, man, competing, I'm telling you, they get after it. I love it.
No, 100%. And the thing is I don't know if the field is smaller or what than what we're used to our kids playing on, but dude, they smoke it. I mean, absolutely smoke the ball.
They do, and it's I like watching those pictures, man. Some of the things they can do with that ball is just unreal to me. It's amazing.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the NCAA tournament. Is your bracket busted, or did you even fill one out?
I watched my first half of basketball today. I picked a good one.
Did you watch Illinois?
I watched Illinois go down.
Well, Illinois was the team I had as my champion.
Oh, really? So you're
I'm busted.
How about Ohio State? Didn't Ohio State get upset too?
They got beat. North Carolina got beat.
That's terrible. I hate this.
Tennessee got beat. That's awful.
Yeah, that's awful.
Like Duke's not in it. If we're not in it, when we're not in it, it doesn't interest me as much.
Right. Gonzaga wins. I don't even care about them. So.
Well, no,
are they in the tournament? I don't even know.
Yeah, they are. They're the overall number 1 seed. They got a pretty decent shot of hitting it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think they're probably the prohibitive favorite now. But I'm 100% behind Loyola Chicago and Sister Jean. 100%.
Yeah. Man, I'll tell you what, they're good, man. I mean, I don't think that was a fluke today.
No, they're good. I mean, they went to the Final Four 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2018, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was the year that our side of the bracket opened up, and that if we would have beat K-State, we would have played them. And then K-State ended up beating us. But, yeah, I mean, they're legit. I mean, they got some good players, man. I said they wore Illinois out, really.
Yeah, and I guess that coach is pretty good. Like, it's not like a fluke thing, man. That program's legit good year in and year out now. So, good for them, man. I think that's great. So that's one of the things, like, even though I'm not a basketball fan, it's cool to see those upset stories, man. And always those David versus Goliath things, those underdogs coming through upsets. and I love it.
Well,
By the way, do you know where the word upset comes from?
No, I don't. Enlighten me.
Oh my God! So here, I want to educate everybody. So there's a horse called Upset. It was his name, and it was like the least favorite horse to win the race, and ended up winning the race. So when you hear somebody say, "Yeah, they're going to pull an upset," that's what they're referring to.
That's what they're referring to.
Yes,
that's where
we got the whole whatever that is. We got the whole phrase from. Is we go pull an upset. You're going to pull off, insurmountable odds. Being surmounted and pull out a victory.
Well, let's do a little movie news. So this week, I know J.D. hasn't done anything. Both of us have been gone, like literally. But it's TV. The Synder Cut came out. The Justice League Synder Cut came out on HBO Max. Did you watch it?
No. I think like 4 hours or 4.5 hours or something.
Dude, it's unbelievable.
Really?
Like, I'm not joking. It's unbelievable.
So tell me, so like, what happened? Like, why is there two different versions? Explain to me. I'm
right, so Zack Snyder was the original director, right? They called it the Snyderverse. Yeah. He made Man of Steel, made Batman versus Superman, and then was going to make the Justice League. So they shot the movie, and his daughter was killed or died. His daughter passed away.
Okay.
So he had to leave the project. Well, Warner Brothers brought in Joss Whedon, who did the Avengers, and brought him in, and he reshot a bunch of it and cut a bunch of stuff out, and did a whole different thing. And like the Snyder version is really dark, right? It's kind of a dark movie, and Whedon made it like bright. That's why it's real choppy when you watch it. So since that movie came out, and a lot of people hated it, I thought it was fine. Like, it's just a movie. It's a superhero movie. It was fine. It came out, there has been this thing, the Synder Cut. We want to see the Synder Cut. And so they pushed for it forever. And then so finally, it's been like 6 years. So finally it came out this week. And it was his vision, and they just did it all. Right? They just did every bit of it, because it really could have been split up into two movies, but they did it all. And like when I watched it, I expected it to be the same movie with some different music and some added scenes and some things like that. Dude, it's a completely different movie.
Oh, really?
It's a completely different movie. Like, there are similar scenes, right? There are scenes in it that are similar as you go through it. But it is a completely different movie, and it is phenomenal. Like, it is. I'll cry at the end of it.
Really?
Yes. And I don't cry. Right. And but there's a whole epilogue thing at the end that was kind of a dedication to his daughter, and it's about fathers and their sons, their fathers and their kids.
I ain't watching it.
And I
can't do that. I can't do that.
I was done, dude. And like I said, it ate me up. But it is 100%. If you like movies, now you may have to sit down, according to time, and you may have to split it up into a couple of sittings, right? But it's actually split into like 8 different stories. And so, but it is hands down, Avengers doesn't hold a candle to it.
You're kidding me, man.
No, it is that good. It is unbelievable. I mean, like, I couldn't believe it. Like, when I watched it and I got done, I was like, holy shit.
Really?
I mean, yes. I mean, like, it was unbelievable. It's one of the best movies I've ever watched. It was so good. Now, for me, I am a superhero fan. I am a comic book fan, so I should preface it with that. But it was phenomenal. And then the way they bring Superman back in this one, and I'm a Superman guy, so that may be part of it. But Superman's part is completely different. Like, there's nothing the same. There's one scene when they bring him back that is similar. The rest of it is brand new stuff. It's completely done. Yeah, it's not. And those were all reshoots.
So I didn't really care about the way the original Justice League did. I thought that was a little bit corny the way they brought it back. But so you got me interested, man.
It's an
I ain't trying to cry though.
No, it's an epic. I wasn't trying to cry. I just did. No, it's an epic movie. It's epic.
Really?
And it is. Yes, it is. It is phenomenal in every way, from the score to the acting, to the storytelling, to the whole thing. It's unbelievable. Like, I couldn't believe how good it was.
Well, I want to check it out, man, for sure, because I got HBO Max. And so this is going to lead us to interesting discussion, I think.
Okay, bring it.
I mean, now we have things like HBO Max. We got Kong versus Godzilla coming out in 2 weeks, which I don't remember the last time I was this excited to watch.
I can't wait.
I cannot wait to watch that movie. I remember being a young boy and watching Godzilla versus King Kong, man, and I love that stuff. That's right up my alley, because I like fantasy movies, but I'm not a big sci-fi guy. Does that make sense? Like I like
No,
Lord of the
absolutely.
Rings, I like Never-Ending Story and stuff like that, but I'm not like Star Wars or Star Trek and that stuff. Just not my thing, But now I like fantasy. So this Kong versus Godzilla thing, I'm all about it. But what impact is things like HBO Max going to have on cinema going forward?
Oh, I think it's going to shut cinemas down. Like it was one of those things like we were talking about the community center. That was a real discussion we were going to have because we were at the verge of making it. We were on the verge of making it the way it was and not having to ink that other deal until we got quarantined again. Right. So, and then that just cut our legs out. But that was one of the discussions that we were truly going to have. Is it beneficial? Because we're going to have to put some money into that movie theater. Is it beneficial to put that much money into the theater? Because with streaming services now, with the HBO Maxes, Coming to America 2 came out on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
You watch it? I haven't yet. I'm going to, but I haven't yet. Did you watch it?
I did.
Was it good?
So, man, it was good. Yeah, like I ain't gonna say it wasn't good, but I felt like the first one set such a high bar that
right.
the sequel was no way it was gonna, meet up with that kind of expectation. But it was good. It was mindless entertainment. It was fun. It was fine, but it was nothing compared to the first one. Which is probably unfair that I compared them, but still, it's good. But I'm not going to watch it again. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, but back to your question, no, I 100% think it's going to have an effect. Now, you may still, there is something about going and watching a movie on the big screen, right? But I have, but I ain't going to lie, dude. I watched Wonder Woman 84 on Max. I could have went to the movie theater and watched it. I didn't.
Right.
I have a movie theater in my house. Now, everybody's not, like me and has a 108-inch screen in their home where you can view a movie. But I had, I watched it in there. It was great, perfect. We ate dinner and watched, and it was fun. The HBO Max, the Justice League, Coming to America 2, all these movies are getting dropped, and you can pay $20 and buy the movie and stream it. It would cost where it costs you $50 to go out and go watch it. But I still think that there's a place for movies. I think that as far as just something to do, and there is something about going to the movie theater, eating the popcorn, watching the movie, and I think there's something nostalgic about it that I think it can still survive. I don't know that it'll be in the format that it's been, but it will be. Yeah, I think it can still survive.
Yeah, so it's really weird to see what that looks like going forward, honestly, because like you said, Netflix is making movies, Amazon is making movies. HBO Max is dropping everything, which I'm so glad, man. I got HBO Max. I dropped my HBO subscription because I don't need it.
Yeah,
I don't even need that. So it's going to hurt cable companies, I'm sure. It's going to be interesting to see the pullback, the pushback from the cinema companies and the cable networks. How everything's going to work out. It's going to be interesting to keep an eye on that. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if there's anything. I don't know if they have recourse or not. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know that they do, man. And like I said, I don't know what they can do because, for example, I have, I don't know, maybe 6 TVs in this house, right? One in my office, one in, master bedroom, guest room, Ashton, Addison, theater room, and then the main living room where we hang out. And, I was renting those boxes or paying for the boxes, right, for every one of those. Yeah. I took back every single one except for 2, and I now have Amazon Fire Sticks in every TV because I can stream everything. Dude, I honestly, until the NCAA tournament started, I haven't watched regular TV through the satellite in 3 weeks.
Right.
Because there's usually a show that I'm trying to watch. I talked about it the last time I was on here on Suits. Been watching Suits.
Yeah.
I'm streaming that. If I watch a movie, this weekend I watched, the Justice League movie. I watched basketball. It's the only thing that I watched that was actually on regular TV. So I think you're going to see a big change with the cable companies because you can stream everything and it's 10 times cheaper, dude. You can get exactly what you want. You're not paying for a bunch of BS channels that you never watch.
So I tried to watch the WandaVision. Mm-hmm. I watched the first episode. I may try it again, but I don't know.
You got to get through the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, I think you told me that, but
yeah,
it's a struggle for me, man. I'm trying hard.
No, you get through the first 3, you're going to love it.
Yeah, but I did watch the first, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Dude, that first 10 minutes of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty intense, man. So I think I'm gonna really like that show. That seems like be right up my alley. I'm gonna try that out. But again, Disney Plus, that's another one, man, who's dropping movies right to your home, man, right to your lap. It's really gonna hurt. But I'm like you too, though. Man. I think there's something about having that, going out with your family, getting some popcorn, or having a dinner, then going to a movie, and it's a whole night out. It's a whole adventure, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like it's going to have to be the right movie at the right time at the right place. I don't think there's going to be. I think there'll be a lot of theaters shutting down because they're not going to be able to keep up with times.
I mean, I hope they don't, because it's the only way that I'll go to the mall. Like, because I hate the mall, right? I hate to shop. I'm a pretty nice guy, JD, for the most part. You take me to the mall, I turn into a dick, dude. I mean, like, legit. Like, I hate it. Like, poor old Amy. Yeah, we just got done talking about the Synder Cut, Josh. I turn into a straight up butt, but what I do is I'll go look around a little bit, and then I'll find me a movie to go watch. Like, that's kind of my pastime. And if the girls get tired of doing anything, they go with me to the movies. It's always kind of a father-daughter thing for us. Like, Amy will shop and we'll go watch a movie.
Yeah, I mean, me and Haley's done the same thing. I remember, like, we watched The Princess and the Frog and Brave, both me and her. It was like always kind of our thing to do. Now she's 15 and I'm not cool anymore.
No, my kids are. I'm not cool at all. Addison just walked by here a second ago and looked at me and rolled her eyes. In the podcast. Yeah, because I heard doing this podcast, I had to laugh. But no, I think you're right. I think it will 100% have an impact. But I think you're talking like the Dish, the satellite networks. But like Dish has changed too, to where you can essentially stream Dish on those Fire Sticks.
Oh, really?
That's how I watch. If I watch anything in like the bedroom or even here in my office, like normally I watch TV in my office because I'm working all the time.
Right.
But I'll have a ball game on or something like that, and I just stream it, and watch it. And I kept the actual box, what they call a Joey, in the theater room because I watch all the sports in there, and I don't want to stream that, and I want it to be perfect when I watch it.
Right.
And then in the main living room, I kept the main one.
Yeah. I think the NFL is actually talking about going to streaming services, man, and getting rid of their cable deals and all that stuff. But I don't know. That seems like a lot of money. I don't know.
It'll probably save them a ton of money, JD, because they can do it themselves.
Right.
They already have the NFL Network,
and everybody's going to get it. Period. I mean, everybody's going to get it.
And you won't have to pay. Like I have the NBA package because I like watching the Kentucky guys.
Right.
And it's streaming. And I have the NBA app. That's how I watch all the basketball games, is through that streaming app. And I can watch any team anywhere at any time I want to.
Right. So it's crazy, man, to think about, growing up here, I never got to watch the Chiefs play. Never.
Sure.
Because it was always the Bengals, the Steelers, or the Browns, and whoever the NFC got, So Fox played the NFC teams, and CBS played the AFC teams. And, of course, but Kansas City's an AFC team. So it was always the Bengals, the Browns, or the Steelers. And I never got the Chiefs unless they were playing one of those three teams. I didn't get to ever see them. So now it's weird because I can watch them every weekend. There's really no roadblocks my way at all. It's just crazy. But, it's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out going forward, man. Like, it's amazing what this COVID has done, really, what the shutdown has done, and how people have adjusted so much of their lives and found different ways to get things done. It's amazing what necessity will cause to happen.
Yeah, it really is. So let's talk a little bit of politics. There's a couple of things I just wanted to ask you about Biden. And like I said, I don't know how much you've been able to keep up.
Just Facebooking, really.
Yeah, I know you've been busy. So, like, first things first, like a big deal, at least in the conservative side of things, is being made about Biden. A couple of things. One, because he hasn't come out and talked to the press yet officially. It's the first time in forever, I guess, the president. This is the longest it's taken for them to address the press corps, I guess, live. And then he fell, apparently, going up the steps the other day, onto Air Force One. And people were talking, again, it's kind of coming back, well, he's feeble. They're trying to hide him. There was even a press conference, I think I told you, he was sitting there and he asked Nancy Pelosi if he was supposed to take questions. Like, I kind of felt bad for him when I saw it. I was like, what, because that's not the Biden we saw in the debates.
Right.
But it seems to be a little more feeble. Now, the thing I find interesting about it is, there was a week's coverage when Trump was walking up the steps somewhere, he used the handrail. There was a week's coverage on CNN saying he was sick and that he was unfit and all that, but you're not getting that same pushback on Biden. And I was just wondering, as someone who supported Biden and was, happy that he was president, like, are you concerned at all about his health from that standpoint with what you're seeing?
Sure. Yeah, I think we talked about it before the election. I've been concerned the whole time. I mean, he's 78 years old, man.
He's old, yeah.
He's old. Like, I mean, it's been a concern. I'm not excited about the idea of Kamala Harris being president.
I'm not either.
That doesn't excite me at all. Of course, I'm concerned. His feebleness is absolutely a concern. But I'm like you. I thought we've seen a different Joe Biden during debates. I don't know what that was. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe sniff some cocaine. I don't have no idea. But you know, he seemed he smelled a little crack. I don't know what he's doing. He's Freemason cocaine. I don't know. But you know, it is a concern. But I don't know. Like, he just fell down though too. You know what I'm saying? Like, the steps suck. They're the bane of my existence. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
So I'm not.
The steps thing didn't bother me that bad. I was like, he's an old man, dude. He fell. You know, give the guy a break. But you know,
I think the problem with it, like, as far as the Trump thing goes, like, why they made such a big deal of it is because that's who Trump built himself to be: strength and law and order and tough and mean. And so when you show feebleness after doing that, it's like being a mafia boss and then showing weakness. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of what the coverage of Trump was, that pushing back from this scenario that he was trying to create. So I think that's what the difference is.
That's fair. What about the part where he's not coming out and talking to the press or doing any of that stuff?
Yeah, that concerns me. It's concerning. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. He may have something in mind or some reason he's not doing it. I don't know. It is concerning for sure.
Well, the other question I had for you, you know, kind of related to Biden as well, and it was something I told you, you know, it was one of my biggest worries, is the border. And we've got a mass increase of unaccompanied minors coming across that border right now. I mean, everybody's reporting that. They're catching people. They're just releasing them into the country. You know, that was one of my biggest concerns, because whether you like Trump or you hate Trump, one of the things that he did with that border is he stopped that. Like, he stopped people just flowing over the border. And that seems to be on the rise again. And my concern is, it's not even, you know, people coming across as immigrants. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not my concern. It's these unaccompanied minors, these kids, dude. And they've got so many, they're having to open up another facility just to hold them. And like, that concerns me. It's
concerning. And I wish I had a good answer for you. Really, I don't. I think we can't let people, especially minors or kids, just flow in, flow out, or flow in, for especially, you know. I don't know what the answer to that is. I wish I knew. Do you have an answer? Like, what should we do?
Well, no, I thought what Trump was doing was working. You know, like I said, the wall, while people will say that didn't really do anything, or that didn't, he stopped it. Like, people weren't just flowing across. He was he had shut that down. Now, I think where we have common ground is what really needs to happen is you need to get them stopped from coming across the border, and then redo the justice system when it comes to immigration, and get more judges hired so you can get these people processed and get them into our country.
Yeah, there needs to be definitely a doable means of path to citizenship, man. A legit path to citizenship, not just some bullshit that takes 8 years or 10 years, whatever it is. It's ridiculous, man. It's crazy.
It is.
But you know, the border's a funny situation to me, man. Like, because one, our immigration problem that we do have, the reason we have it is not because people come over the border so much as it is people overstaying visas.
Sure.
Which is absolutely way bigger problem than the border is people overstaying visas, work visas, diplomatic visas, all kinds of visas. There are studies that say that the border, if it's opened up, that people, I think we talked about this on here before, we need a border.
I like that one.
What's the dude? He's being funny. He said we need a border Synder Cut. He's talking about Zach, or what's his name? Zack Snyder?
Zack Snyder, yeah.
Yeah. What's the dude who did Transformers? Michael Bay.
Michael Bay, yeah.
I feel like you guys would like a Michael Bay immigration policy where everything just blows up. You know, the Michael Bay is known for all the explosions. The car rolls down the hill like bumps into a tree and explodes.
Yeah.
All right, bro. You know, Michael Bo, you need to chill out with the explosives, bro. We know it's not real.
Yeah. No. But no, I agree with that. The people overstaying their visas is a definite problem. But again, that kind of goes back to fixing the justice system so that you can keep up with it.
Yeah.
And like I said, but the thing is one thing, like I said, dude, Trump had that stopped. I mean, the border agents that are down there said, look, when we were building this wall, it's everywhere that happened where they put the wall up, it stopped. It moved it on up the road, right? So it kind of stopped it. You got to get it stopped. They even have Mexico letting these people stay in their country until they can get processed. And now that's not happening. They're coming to the border. And the problem is what I've always said. It's just like with the stimulus check, right? What people don't understand, like it's nice to get a stimulus check, I'm sure. Okay. Yeah. It's nice to get that check. But do you realize if you got $1,400, you will pay back $22,000 in taxes so that you got that $1,400 check. And the reason for that is not because you and I who work, we pay in taxes and they're basically just giving us our money back. We're also paying for these checks that are given to people who do not pay into the tax system. And so we have to pay that back. We're paying that back. And, so it's one of those things where the system itself is broken to the point where, hey, let's fix the justice system. Let's do that because those people are coming over here and a lot of them applying for checks and getting them. It's just one of those deals where I don't know. Like I thought Trump was on the right track with the border. And if he could have got to what the Democrat side wanted, like it's almost a combination. To me, you asked me, what do I think you need to do? Sure, it's almost like a combination of things. You do what Trump did, which was get it shut down at the border, get your wall built, do all those things, get all the technology so that you can control the border, and then do what the Democrats want, which is fix the judicial system to be able to process these people faster. There's nothing wrong with those people coming into this country. It's not a thing. It's the American dream. Trump was a little extreme with it. We want your best, your best and your brightest. And there's an argument for that. But we were built on immigrants. But the people who came here as immigrants were coming through Ellis Island and were being checked in. It just wasn't a free flow of people flowing.
Yeah, but it's not like they were getting the background checks or security checks, bro. They come in. You know where a WAP come from?
Oh,
those are Italians who came over here without papers. WOP without papers. So it's not like, it's not like we was sitting down and having interviews or they had to wait 8 years to become citizens. That's the problem, man. So what if we went in reverse, though, and did it, and we got the judicial system built first, and then we built the wall? Would you have a problem with that?
No, as long as both get done. But I feel like you can't build the judicial system fast enough because no matter what happens, you're not going to be able to build it fast enough to keep up. So I think you've got to stop. It's like, if somebody gets hurt or they're bleeding out, you got to get the bleeding stopped before you can actually fix what's wrong.
But again, the bleeding I feel like is the visas, right? Because that's really what the
I don't disagree with you there. I actually don't disagree with you on that because I think you're right. The visas are a problem. People are getting in here on work visas, et cetera, and then they're overstaying them. They just disappear.
Right, they disappear. Right.
Yeah, they disappear into the matrix, so to speak. And like
it's tough, man.
It is. It's a tough call.
If they get there, this is Stephen Kasdorf who wrote in. It's commented. If they get there legal and pay taxes just like we do, I don't have a problem with it. My thing is them not having to pay taxes, get business loan, easy to start a business, then they change the name every 10 years to keep from paying taxes. I mean, I don't know. Like
there is some truth to that. I mean, there is some truth to that. I mean, as far as them, working the system. But I do the same thing. So, that's not. That's
business, baby, right?
It's just business. And those guys are doing business, but Kasdorf's not wrong. I mean, if you're paying taxes, right, it's one thing, and that's the problem is eventually, it's what I've always said. Eventually, the people that are paying taxes cannot be outnumbered by the people who are getting government assistance.
I agree.
Because the scales flip and you'll never get it back. And that's what I was saying, kind of went off on a tangent about the $1,400 checks that everybody got. It's like that concerns me too, dude. Like I do not like that we did that. I'm fine. People need help. But like, I think for the
eligibility is the problem with me.
Yeah.
The eligibility is where I got an issue. I don't need $1,400, man. Like I haven't got my taxes back yet. I owe some money. I'm going to pay it. But I'm going to be fine. I could live without that $1,400. I didn't need it. So I didn't think that every person, I don't know what the qualification was, but people in my shoes, they need for extra $1,400. And even though there are people out there that need it worse than I did, and needed $2,000 before I needed 14.
Sure. And that's my problem with it too. Is if there's a way to direct that money to the people who truly need it, the people who have truly been unemployed. Dude, I haven't stopped working.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I've done more business in the past year than I've done in 5.
I've been working too much. Let me go ahead and just tell you right now.
Well,
just so everybody knows.
Oh, JD's been killing himself. I said, that's crazy. But no, I mean, I have done, my business has been great. I didn't get it, but I mean, as far as if you're making that, because I think you can make $150,000 for a couple of 2, right? And then they discount it up to, I think, 160, depending on what you make. So it's it's one of those deals where I have a problem with the eligibility too. I feel like they should specifically find these businesses that need it. These people who are truly, Kentucky needs to fix their unemployment. Like we still got people that haven't drawn a dime of unemployment.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so let me talk about this. Just because we're on this subject about immigration, I don't want to get detracted too
Sure.
far. About them not having to pay taxes and stuff. That's the point, Steve. I think if them getting legal citizenship, we want them to get legal citizenship so they do pay taxes. If they're going to benefit from our social programs, then we ought to expect them to pay in their share of taxes. I mean, I think that makes perfect sense. And I think that's the point of finding a middle ground to where we cut back on the illegal immigration, but we also make a pathway to citizenship that's not unreasonable. And I think that makes perfect sense to me. Go ahead.
Okay, so Jason Chafin comments, would taking away incentives for foreigners curb border crossings, like eligibility for them to start a business with federal loans and no taxes? I think it would. It would help. But the thing is once they get here, they're probably paying taxes through those businesses, right? In some facet.
So here's something I've been saying for 20 years, probably. It's not, those people are just trying to make a living for their families, man. Like, they're just trying to do better for their wives and their kids and their husbands and whoever they got. If you're going to go after somebody, go after these businesses who are hiring illegal immigrants and find them. Because if they don't have an incentive to hire them for cheap labor, those people don't come.
But here's the flip side to that. Let me just push back just a tick. Sure. So those people, I get what you're saying, but the problem is the reason they're hiring them is because that's the only people they can get to work. People,
because they don't want to pay livable wage, then, man.
Right, but again, a livable wage. But if they pay a living wage for, let's say that they pay $20 an hour, right? They'll be out of business.
Yeah, but
and our stuff's going to go up, and that's the thing. I'm not arguing with you on that. I was just trying to push back a little bit.
I get you. It's fine. It's fine. But I'm saying we have a minimum wage for a reason. I mean, it's $7.25 an hour. If you're going to run a business, man, you should be able to pay somebody $7.25 an hour. That's the much difference between hiring 3 people for $3 an hour, and abusing them, and then not having to pay insurance on them, not having to do all these things. That is what we deem to be a livable wage, or the right thing to do is provide insurance if you hire so many people or work them so many hours a week. And I don't think it's anything too drastic or uncalled for, man. I
know I was listening to something one time. It was this topic, and it was these farmers, and they were out in the Midwest, and they were talking about hiring these essentially illegals, right? That were coming across and working, usually Hispanic, somebody like that. And they said, look, they come over here, and this is where I'm sympathetic to it, okay? Because they said they will come here. Essentially, they pay them whatever, $10 an hour, whatever it is to work. They provide them a place to live. They generally feed them, right, with their crops and different things. They're fed there, and they live. Those guys spend no money. They send every dime they have back home.
Back home, yeah.
Just so they're people, because they're just trying to do the same thing that we're doing, and that is where I'm sympathetic to it. But at some point, the economics of it have to make sense. Make sense, because when you, like I said, once you flip that scale, dude, we're not going to get it back, and we're so close to that happening now that we're all going to be in trouble, and nobody's going to have anything. And it's that's the part that concerns me. Like I said, I don't have a problem with immigration, never have. I think it's what our entire country is built upon. It's the diversity of our country. It's why we have this giant melting pot of people. Sure. And it's nice.
So here's something that I think I just now thought of this on the fly. So there may be a lot of holes in it, but I'm just going to throw it out there anyway. Don J.D. for president and VP. I like it, Jim.
I love it.
So what about this though? We get all these little illegal immigrants that are here now, where they overstayed their visa, or they came in illegally, whatever. We figure out a way to get them citizenship quickly. They got to go in, do a background check, whatever they got to do. We get them citizenship. One time, here we go, blanket citizenship. And then if we catch you here illegally, you're never eligible to become a citizen.
That seems reasonable to me. You know, like with the DACA, could you take who's here? All right, look, guys, we're not going to kick you out of the country. Come in, everybody come forward. Let's get you documented. Let's get you citizenship. You know, we'll put you through the class. You got to do everything you got to do.
Right.
You become a citizen. Boom. And then anybody else that comes in this country illegally, you're done. You know, right. you will wait. I think there's some merit to what you're saying. I think that's humane. Because the one part is it's hard to make sure you leave the humanity in it, especially when you think like I do. When you think in dollars and cents like I do about everything, sometimes the humanity of it can get lost, and you do have to keep considering. That's why I'm concerned. Like I said, right now, it's not humane for these children to be coming over here by themselves with these coyotes and these drug traffickers and these people traffickers. You know, all that crap. That is not humane. You need to stop it to try to keep that from happening. I understand why those people it must be so bad where they're at that they would risk sending their kid here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's the part. Again, you got to try to keep the humane part in mind. But again, I always come back to it's got to balance. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to balance.
Yeah, but and so where I guess I kick back against what the right wing ideology about immigrants is, I don't think we're getting all their worst. I think for the most part we're getting a lot of their best. But their opportunities of where they're at or the circumstances they lived in or grew up in just aren't great, and there's no opportunity. The economy's bad. There's no chance to move forward. There's no dream, and you got to put yourself in those people's shoes to be empathetic to their situation. And if we can do that and make the numbers work, I think we should do it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, JD. Like I said, it is. You got to keep the humanity part in it, and they're just trying to do what we're doing, man. Are you going to get some criminals out of it too? 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you can come right here in Eastern Kentucky where everybody's white and been raised up here their whole lives, and there's going to be some criminals here too. Yeah. It's like that everywhere you go in every race that you deal with. There's always some bad apples.
Yeah, they got nothing to do with them being Mexicans because they're pieces of shit.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with that. It's just most of the people that are trying to get here are trying to make a better life for them and their kids, period.
Before we run out of time, I had something happen to me yesterday that I want to share this story with. And it's nothing major, man, but it just struck me, and I thought, wow, how far we've come as a nation. So there was two guys wrestling yesterday. One from Lafayette, and the other one was from, like, Johnson Central. I don't know, wherever he's from. And I looked at one of the girls, a young girl who's with one of the former wrestlers there watching the wrestling match. I said, they say that kid right there is supposed to be really good. And she said, which one? The kid in the blue? And I looked, and I thought, yeah. Because I thought she was going to say, you mean the black kid? But she didn't say that.
Yeah.
She said, the kid in the blue, and it was the white kid and the black kid. And 10 years ago or 20 years ago, she would have said, what, the black kid?
Yeah.
And I know that's not a big thing, but to me, that is a big thing.
Sure it is.
That generation, and I think we're a part of that, and, I think we fill the gap between the older generation, that we're becoming a part of that world where it's not the white kid and the black kid. It's the kid in the blue and the kid in the red, regardless of their skin color.
Doesn't matter. It's just that kid.
And when she said that, though, it just struck me. I was like, wow. That's amazing that she said the kid in the blue instead of the black kid. And I thought, I don't know.
I had a similar thing happen with Addison, and we were talking about something, and I said something. I said that kid looks like they're a good dancer, and she did not say the white or the black kid. She said the kid in that purple outfit, and I was like, yeah, it was, and I noticed it too. Is what's funny is I noticed it, and I was like, well, that's cool. Because even I probably right now would say who that black dude over there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because that's what I was expecting her to say. You know what I'm saying? And then she said the kid in the blue, and I was like, absolutely, kid in the blue. That's exactly who I'm talking about. Yeah. I don't know. I'm weird. I don't know why that triggered something in my mind, but I thought that's great that we live that's even happened in Eastern Kentucky in this culture, that we're starting to become colorblind, and I think it's a great thing, man.
Yeah,
I just want to say that before we end the show.
That's great. It's a great place to end it, dude. I missed you. Now I will be gone again next weekend. I will be in Nashville for another dance competition. And then I think that's the last true competition of the year until we go to Disney World in May, the first week of May. So JD hopefully will be back here with a special guest next week. I think we've got it figured out now to where he can jump on and do it if I'm out of town, or I can jump on and do it when he's gone. So, but we appreciate it, man. It's good to be back. I've enjoyed the past hour. You don't realize, I know we talk about this, JD and I do, off the air, but you don't realize how much this has become a part of my life. And getting to sit and chat with JD and you guys that are watching on Sunday evening. And it's like I miss it. Like when I wasn't here last week, I was like, dude, I would love to be talking with JD right now.
Yeah, well, those guys were here, and I was like, man, this is fun, but I miss Jimmy.
Yeah, this is great. You guys are cool. You guys are cool, but where's Jimmy Don?
I mean, I did feel that way. Like, I love those guys. They're funny, whatever, but you bring the flavor, baby. I like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Absolutely. You're my boy. That's all I can say.
Yep. So, guys.
Anyway, I missed you, man. I'm glad we got to catch up this week.
Yes,
Have a good week, man.
Guys, thank you all for coming and sitting with me and JD for the past hour. We always appreciate the support that we get. Of course, you know where you can find us on Podbean.
Oh, my God. Hold on. I'm sorry to stop you, man. But have you seen the Syracuse, West Virginia score?
No, what is it?
58-56.
Who's up?
West Virginia was down by like 14.
They were down by like 14, yeah.
Yeah, Syracuse is up 58-56.
Go West Virginia.
No, I'm kidding. I go for West Virginia. I always go for West Virginia.
I cheer for the Mountaineers. Amy's from West Virginia. I cheer. They're a secondary team.
I'm from West Virginia, bro.
Yeah, and I like Huggy Bear.
Yeah,
so
I'm going for West Virginia, too. I'm just going on.
All right, guys. You know where you can find us, of course, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, social media. JD's hooking that up now. Follow us there. Remember to go get your Donnie Baker tickets if you haven't already, because we don't have that many left. So if you're wanting to go to the show, you better go grab you some and go watch JD MC this really cool show here in Inez. So, guys, as we always end this thing, from myself and from JD, no matter how bad your week's been, no matter how bad your day's going, if you just have bourbon, it always gets a little bit better. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.